All right, guys, welcome to the first episode of Around the Gjallarhorn, a weekly podcast we're going to be doing on Saturdays or Sundays, talking to some of the content creators from around the Twitch world, some of the people that I'm, interested in learning a little bit more about. We have our very first guest on the stream today. It is the young comp legend, GOATGEEZY, fresh off an appearance on Friday Night Football, fresh off of an appearance commentating the $1,000 Council Tournament. A guy that I kind of look to as a mentor. Even though he's about half my age, this guy has taught me everything I know about Madden, which is not much, but I mean, he's at least given me a rundown of some of the basic concepts of the game. But if you guys would type in the chat, !GOATGEEZY, it'll be a whole list of his social links. Follow him on there. Check him out on Twitch, TikTok. I didn't drop your Twitter link on there, but I feel like, that's just goes without saying. And join his Discord server too, guys. But Geezy, appreciate you making it in here, man. It's been a busy day for you. Really appreciate you making the time to be here.
Yeah, glad you had me, man. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely, my dude. And, I'm kind of, the idea for the stream today is not just to talk about, Madden-related stuff, but to get to know a little bit about you as a person. Obviously, right now, I know you're in a dormitory, so we'll talk a little bit about college life. But I think, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your background. Like where are you from? I know you're from Wisconsin. Is that correct?
Sure. I'm from Racine, Wisconsin. It's kind of near Milwaukee. Best way I could put it is between Bose and Milwaukee. So.
Oh, okay, beautiful, nice. So it's like, what like size town do you have? Like, what population is it there? Is it like a big town suburb?
It's got about 80,000 people, I think.
Okay, nice. And is it a place where there's a lot to do, like growing up, or is it pretty quiet, like as far as social life stuff to get out and do?
Kind of quiet. There's like stuff you can do like baseball, like join boards like that, but other than that, it's like pretty quiet around there. So,
nice. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you about too is about baseball, because I know a lot of the time you would have to kind of move your schedule around according to baseball practices. So is that like a travel team or like your high school team that you were playing for? I know you have some experience playing baseball. Like, what position did you play, and what's your level of experience with that?
So pretty much started. I grew up playing baseball probably since I was like 4 years old. Started off with just like your normal rec league, t-ball, coach pitch, skip machine pitch, went straight to kid pitch. Kept playing rec ball until I went to about my 5th grade year, and I joined the travel team. Played travel ball till about my 7th grade year, and then 7th grade year, stuff happened with my team. I didn't get too much into that.
Uh-oh. That's what I would love to get into, but hey, some things can't be spoken on stream, I guess.
Okay, the way I can put it is my coach, he did some bad things that you shouldn't be doing to children.
Oh man, never mind.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's tough. My God.
So the organization kind of folded, and I went to look for a place to play. So this would be for my 8th grade year. I had tried out for 3, 4 8th grade travel teams. I made them, but in my city there was a team that was starting. It was 17U at that point, so I'd be 13, about to be 14. And they asked me if I wanted to play. I wouldn't get much playing time, but it'd be a year earlier I could start for high school baseball. And I said, sure, why not? Do it. I ended up sitting the first 2 games and playing the rest of the year because I actually played pretty well. Then high school came around, still played travel ball. Also played basketball during that time. So I was 2-year varsity player for basketball, and should have been 3 years for baseball, but obviously COVID,
yeah,
couldn't do much with this, so
messed it up completely.
Yeah, so once COVID kind of happened, I stopped playing travel baseball, and I wasn't gonna actually play baseball. I was just gonna focus on getting ready for college, making a little bit of extra money, continue streaming Madden. But I really liked one of my coaches. He was my JV coach my freshman year, and I think he's the coolest guy in the world, and he got a varsity job for us my junior year, which obviously COVID happened, so I never got to play for him. So I was like, no, I want to play for him at least 1 year on varsity, so I ended up playing my senior year. I had to move stuff around, but yeah, I played first base during my high school career. I also DH too, so if
nice slugger.
Got some reps in, I DH for the game. Other kids got to play the field, so yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Honestly, like I have no experience playing hardball. I play softball, but it's like really the most softball slow pitch to your own team is a whole different ball game from playing like the level of baseball you would have played. But I've always loved it. But never, Toronto doesn't really have a great. Canada in general doesn't really have a great baseball scene. More so on the West Coast, but like out here, it's not the most popular sport. Mainly because the Blue Jays have been kind of terrible for like a while, like since the '90s. But started growing popularity here too now. But it's not like a sport that's typically offered in high school. A lot of high schools don't even have a baseball team. But actually, somebody's saying in the chat, Geezy, somebody's saying your audio is a little bit low. Is your audio set up to your mic or to your?
Should be. This is voice and video, input and output. I have up to my mic. Or is that?
Oh, maybe it's. Yeah, chat. Let me know how it's going. Roblox Sporting Network. Appreciate
Alright.
the follow, my dude.
Test. See.
How's the audio now, guys?
Sounds like headphone.
I'll see if it's on your side or on my side. Because you know what? Maybe it's that my desktop volume is low because I lowered the music thing. Let me put my desktop volume up all the way. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Geezy, say something now. Say something now.
Hello. Test 1 2 1 2.
Try that now. I think it's gonna fix it. Good.
Good.
Way better.
Way better.
That's
There
on
we
my
go.
end. Geezy, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I had.
I thought it was me. I'm like, damn.
You know what it is? It's from my song requests. Like people were saying the music was a bit loud, so I like put it down to 55 or whatever. So now it's back up to 100. So there we go.
Okay.
We're good to go, boys. Let's get, it's totally my fault, Hard TV. I killed it. All right, don't worry. We're gonna crop out this whole section. I know how to edit stuff, so this whole part didn't happen. I might even cut out the whole baseball story and just move on to the next one altogether. Yeah, sorry for wasting your time, Geezy. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the next thing. So you play basketball, you play baseball. So pretty athletic kid growing up. What about like where you're at now? So you're in college. You just started beginning of September. Like, are there athletic opportunities there for you? Like, do you guys have a lot of sports teams that are available, or like what level of competition is it out where you're at?
So for anybody who doesn't know, I do go to the University of Green Bay. It's in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin. It does have Division I athletics. It only has softball, basketball, soccer, and volleyball, and then like some cross country and track stuff. But I don't do that running shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like there's a lot of also intramurals. I think you can do basketball intramurals. There's football intramurals. Holy crap!
It's the worst word to say. It's impossible to say that word.
Yeah. Tongue twister. But I'm just kind of trying to get a vibe of what to do up here. I play a little bit of volleyball for fun. I've been learning how to do that. But there's a decent amount of stuff to do up here. Besides, everybody just goes home for the weekend, so like it's also kind of hard to do stuff with people when you have free time.
Yeah, why do you think that is? That because I'm thinking of my college experience and like of the guys that lived on my floor, like nobody like we went home on Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, reading week maybe in the winter, and that was it. Like most people didn't go home for weekends, at least in my experience. So why do you think most people are going back home? Is that in result of COVID and not being able to do as much as people would have in other years, or is that just like people homesick at the beginning of the year? Do you think?
A lot of what I recognize, it's a lot of the campus, so even seniors too. The college here, a lot of people live around here. There's not a lot of people, where even from where I am, I think I know about maybe 5 people, and like we're only 2.5 hours away from where I'm from. So like, for example, in my first year seminar class, it's a class for pretty much freshmen. A lot of the people are only 30 minutes, 45 minutes out, so like they can pack up stuff, whatever they need to bring home, and just drive home. Big deal. Me, I'm 2.5 hours away. Also, one thing I recognize, there's a lot of kids. They live in small towns. They're family oriented. They haven't been away from their family. For me, I did a lot of stuff on my own, so I like being independent. A lot of kids, they miss their family and stuff. Yeah. Not saying I don't or anything.
Yeah, no, of course. Like it's funny. Like I remember when I went away to college, which was like, I don't even want to think about that was 15 years ago, probably 15 years ago when I went away to college. And like I remember the weekend before I went away, like getting together with all my buddies from high school. Like I remember I was like all emotional. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss you guys. Like I'm going away to school. It was only an hour and 15 minutes away. And literally as soon as I set foot on campus, I was like, I'm never going home again. I'm going to be here and enjoy the hell out of it. Like it changes so quickly. Some people are kind of built for that. And like, you're a social guy, like, you're getting out and meeting people and whatnot. Some people, they kind of are like the hermit types, which, going away from home for school could be tough for, people that aren't really built like you are. But
Exactly.
how important was it to you? Like, were you looking at a variety of schools, or like, how important was it for you to go to a school where you had to travel to get there, like away from home?
I actually that was one of the things I wanted to was to get away from my city. I wanted just to explore like other parts because like other than like Racine where I'm from in like Chicago and I've been to like Florida a couple of times and like Arizona, California to visit family. Other than that, like I wanted just to go see like other places. I want to be out on my own and do stuff. So it was actually pretty important for me to get away. I was looking at UW Milwaukee, which was only about 45 minutes out, Green Bay, UW Madison. I also got accepted into there. I was
Nice.
going to apply to Ohio State, but that's a lot of fucking money, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then I also got accepted in the University of Minnesota, and that was also up there on my list. It was pretty much between Green Bay,
Nice.
Minnesota, and Madison.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And what was the deciding factor in like picking, where you're at now? Like, what made you pick that over the other two options?
Honestly, it was just price. Like,
Yeah.
my parents and my grandma, because my grandma, she told me she was going to pay for some of my college. But
Yeah.
as much as like I didn't want price to affect it, like, it was still in the back of my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a smart kid. Like, the way like I run my life, I look at it like entrepreneurship. I like making money. I want to save money. I don't want to be in $100,000 in debt. Like my first year, I only am
Yeah.
probably going to owe like $4,000 in
Nice.
college
That's
because of
awesome.
scholarships and stuff like that. So I didn't want to, have a lot of college debt.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure, and it's good being respectful of your grandma. That's awesome that she's kind of pitching in and helping out with that. Like to have that support system for sure. I can't remember why I picked my school to be honest. Like it was I think it was because the colors of my college were the same colors as the Vikings, purple and gold. I honestly looking back I can't remember because I had three schools as well that I was looking at, and I just don't even remember what made me make that decision. But I'm glad that I made the decision I did. I met my wife there, all my wedding party guys at college. Like it's kind of cool for you in your way because you do have a tie to home as well. Like sitting behind you there, you got Gun Bunch, who you went to high school. Well, did you go to high school with him? What's your guys like? How did you guys connect?
I met him in middle school. I knew of him my sixth grade year, and in the seventh grade year, I was getting a PS4. That's when like the PS4s were fairly new, and I was telling him like, "Yo, I'm so good at Madden. I was bad back then. I'm so good at 2K. I'm gonna flood you." And he was like, yeah. He goes, "We should play." I'm like, "All right, I got it." He ran punt, safe, man, block. I mean, ever since then, like me and him just clicked. We've been in PS4 parties, just chilling,
That's awesome,
hanging out
man.
and stuff.
That's pretty cool. And honestly, as a competitive gamer too, like you find yourself in a situation that's, I mean, I know technically like this is not your room, but it's like a vacant room, so you're like hoping that nobody moves in to take the other bed basically, so you can just like lab and stream and not have to worry about weirdos and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause my roommate, he's a character.
Yeah. It's gotta, yeah. I'm gonna just withhold. I was gonna say something, and I'm like, you know what? This is going on YouTube. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to make things awkward for you guys. But yeah, the funny thing is like I had a roommate too, like that I went to high school with, and it was a guy that I only really met in grade 12, and he ended up being the weirdest guy on my floor. So like sometimes you think that you need to have, like in your case with Gun Bunch, you guys are obviously super close. It's a great setup to have two people that are focused on getting better at Madden and streaming and doing all that. Like for me, I ended up after my first year of college, I never talked to that guy from high school again. I kind of met new friends and whatnot. So it's you never know what you're gonna get, but you gotta experience it to find out, right? But pretty cool setup that you guys have there. Now, so you talked about discovering Madden. So was that? Did you say around grade 7 is when you, or 7th grade is when you started playing, or what would be the first Madden that you played?
First, man. Ooh, so I played I didn't really play video games until I want to say, so when my parents got divorced, my dad moved in with one of his friends whose kid had a PlayStation 2. And I don't even remember what Madden we were playing. I want to say Marshall Falk was on the cover of this one.
Oh yeah, was that like 2004 or no?
That's
2004 is Mike Vick. This was later. Oh, that was maybe 2003.
Madden 03. Yeah, he had
Madden
one of those
03.
games.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really old, and you could tell we were playing an outdated Madden. But
Holy
we used
cow.
to play that all the time. And then when my dad finally moved in with my stepmom, my stepbrother had a PS2 as well, and we played all like Madden 05, Madden 06, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that's when I got introduced into Madden, and then I thought I was good at Madden my middle school years, me and my friend, we used to play Madden 13 all day. He used to take his mom's credit card and we used to open up packs on his account. It was a blast.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So that's when I kind of got introduced in. I didn't really start playing competitively until about, I want to say, my sophomore year, freshman year around. So
would that have been Madden 19, Madden 20, like when you started playing, or like Madden 20 is when I met you for the first time, and you were pretty comp at that point.
That's when I started streaming. That's when I don't even consider myself comp at that point. I was all right though. I want to say. See, Madden, yeah, it was Madden 19, because Madden 18, I still ran YouTube plays. I used to Google YouTube, like, best cover 3 beater, and I used to think I was the best ever.
Yeah,
pop.
A cheeser, basically, yeah. Who would have been some of the YouTubers that so did you find, like, Madden content through Twitch initially, or were you more like did you find Twitch through YouTube? Like, how did that happen?
I found Twitch through YouTube. I had no idea about Twitch until I started playing in tournaments, actually. I used to watch Onto the Boss a lot before he popped. Toke, Cullenberger, IMAV. Let's see, who else I used to? There's a guy named XRyan915, if anybody knows who that is. Yeah. London RTR. Those were the guys I watched a lot back in the day. So I was mostly on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also Eric Rayweather as well, too.
Nice. Yeah, I know the only name that I know from that list is... Honestly, I don't know any of those guys. So, like, I obviously have a lot of them moved on to, like, streaming on YouTube now, or, like, are they more just straight up YouTube content creators now for the most part?
I know Anto, he's a big content creator now. I know he does bits and pieces of Madden. Cullenberger, he's been kind of on and off the scene. He'll pop through. He's got, like, I want to say, like, 500K on YouTube.
Yeah.
Toke, he's around still. He was in Fence Chat.
That's the one name that I knew, Toke Nasty. That's the one guy I've heard of on that list, yeah.
I was watching Toke when he had, I want to say it was like 80 to 90K. So he was fairly, I shouldn't say small, because that's kind of big, but like smaller than he was. And then London RTR and XRyan915, they kind of just disappeared off the scene. They were like big market guys, and I used to use those guys for coins. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, that's and what kind of made you, want to start streaming on Twitch yourself? Like what would you say kind of pushed you to kind of get into the content creation game in the first place?
It was actually DK. Me and DK were playing in Madden 20. Like in Madden 20, I was like, okay, I want to just win a belt. I want to be straight up comp. I want to lock in. I want to be on alert tag. I want to alert streamers just to get like good reps and stuff like that. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
And it was around COVID time. This was after LCQ, after I got DC'd my way out of the salary cap tournament. I matched up with DK, and we had an absolute hell game and head-to-head seasons. And the next day I saw your stream, so I popped through. I was like, yo, what's up? I wasn't going to say GG yet. And he's like, yo, you're really good at the game. He goes, you need to start streaming. I'm like, dude, I ain't doing that. I'm like,
that's dope.
I want to stream. I'm like, I just want to play the game competitively. He goes, dude, you need to stream. So started booting up streams on my PlayStation. He used to go live at like 7 a.m. So I used to boot up like an hour before him at like 6.
Yeah.
And I used to, and when he'd go live, I'd have his stream up playing in the background and stuff. No, honestly, DK's the reason why I started streaming.
That's awesome, man. So how does, with the new news from today, from the council tournament, we also had DK Nice commentating for that and then announced him as a member of the council too, which you guys noticed we got both the council logos there. I drag and drop them perfectly onto the overlay there for me and Geezy. So we got to come up with a DK logo too. How do you feel about having him as part of the stream team that you're a member of now?
Dude, I was fucking hyped when I heard that news. Like, somebody like I looked up to, and someone who got me in the streaming, and now we're on the same stream team, grinding, trying to be best we can be, get the council, to the moon.
Yeah,
like
to the moon, 100%.
It's actually like really dope.
Oh, 100%. Like I was thrilled when I saw that DK had joined up, and honestly, like I know last year I think he was with Thrive, and I saw him doing some games on their channel and stuff, and I know he had just joined up with a new lab group this year too, so he's got a lot on his plate. But he's one guy too that I find, for a guy who has, like, I don't know what he has, 25,000 plus followers on Twitch, like he's obviously very big. He's growing on YouTube. He's one of the most humble people out there and so approachable. Like I remember I was shocked when he came into my stream for the first time, because I'm like, I'm ass. I'm not even like GOATGEEZY. I'm not good at the game, but he's coming in and he's being active in chats, and like, he makes it himself so approachable. So yeah, that's really cool that one of the first guys that kind of got you to start streaming is now your colleague, so to speak.
Yeah, but it's pretty dope.
Oh, 100%. And So one other thing. So you've been playing Madden for a long time now, and once you got onto the comp scene, obviously the comp scene is fairly small, in that you match up with a lot of the same guys over and over again. You're playing money games against the same guys over and over again. Who are some of the guys that you have matched up with and that you have a hard time against, like guys that you hate to see when their name comes across the screen?
Boy, here we go. Let's see. Henry is one that comes to mind. I remember when I was on PlayStation 5 or 4.
Yeah.
I could never guard Henry. I mean, that dude, he's just different at the game. I remember Madden 19. He's playing an alert called Gecko Swag, and I didn't know it was him until about last year. Found out it was Henry. But I mean, I just can never beat the dude. I don't think I've beaten him to this day. I mean, I pretty much a lot of the pros I have played, I at least took a game or two. Yeah. Let's see, Fancy's another one too. I couldn't beat this guy at all this year. I mean, he absolutely owned me. D-Croft as well, he owned me this year and last year in regs. I mean, a deep third glitch from last year, I couldn't stop that. Yeah, because I didn't know that was a thing. But those are probably the pros that I have a hard time against. Yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anybody else? I mean, I pretty much feel like I match up well against everybody else.
Yeah, and those three guys are all names too that were in the tournament today, I believe, right? I think all three of those guys played today. So definitely some tough competition. I will say that list of 16 was absolute hell. I have never matched up with anybody from that list, and probably for good reason. But you draw those good matchups, right? Like, I'm sure there's something in the algorithm that, if you get a certain win percentage or you get a certain number of weekend league games, you're going to run into sweats. Now, on the other side of things, like, who are some of the guys that, for most of us would be untouchable, like Mount Rushmore comp players that we think nobody could beat, and then you seem to match up well against? Not necessarily that you flood them, but like, who are guys that you match up well against?
Yeah, actually, Drini is somebody I matched up pretty well against. I beat him, twice during ladders. No, it's once during ladders, twice in PL money games. I know you were in one of the streams I beat him with.
I saw it.
I'm 3-1 against Drini in games that matter. And actually, I want to say what I said about people I didn't match up well against. I meant to say Wesley, not Fancy. I was thinking about other people. Yeah. Fancy, I actually matched up well against. Last year, I played him in draft champs, and I absolutely obliterated him.
Oh, let's go.
It was 28-7.
Look at the turn of events here. Gone from getting flooded by Fancy to being the one doing the flooding. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I was thinking of Wesley, and I said Fancy. I'm like, I just said Fancy, didn't I? But Wesley, I can't stop him. Fancy, I've matched up against him twice. Yeah. And he's beat me once this year, and I beat him last year during the DC tournament when I was Madden's players. It's the 7th seed. But
that's right.
I matched up good against him. Count. And honestly, I feel like I match up good against. If I'm legit locked in, I don't think, unless I play myself out of the game or just throw a pick. Like, honestly, if I throw a pick, I'm probably losing the game. If I don't think I lose any game I play.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, it's a lot of pressure to play smart. And like how would you characterize your gameplay? Like, obviously, you're not going to play the exact same way against every opponent. Like, you're the kind of guy, for the casual player who might win like 16 weekend league games. We can learn YouTube plays and we can cheese them over and over, but we don't necessarily understand the adjustments. But like, would you characterize yourself as more of a conservative player, aggressive player, like going for it on 4th down? Does punting factor into it, or are you trying to score a touchdown every time down the field, basically?
I got 2 different play styles. So when I'm on stream, you guys know me as I'm just gonna bomb the shit out of you. I don't care. I'm gonna throw a cover 3 beer out there. If it's not cover 3, I'm still gonna throw it either way. Yeah. That's just how I play on stream, and just because it's the most exciting way to play. When I'm locked into an MCS game, I'm more of a defensive player. Like, if you're giving me the run, I will hand off the ball to Derrick Henry, LaDainian Thompson, whoever it is, until you stop the run. Like, I'll play conservative. I take what's given to me. But I honestly pride myself on my defense. I think defense is where I do excel when I do play most comp games.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I actually passed along. So for those of you guys who don't know on the stream, Geezy handed me some defense, some 3-3-5 wide defense at the end of Madden 21 that kind of like made a fun last couple months of the game for me, because I didn't bother learning defense till like the last 2 months of the game. I was doing coach suggestions, and I just today passed off that defense to Hard TV, who's in the chat right now, and he said it's like literally like he's playing two separate games. He's still using that same defense that you gave me at the end of Madden 21. He's like, it feels like I'm literally like went from being a 10 weekend league winner to a 10 game weekend league winner to a 16 game weekend league winner. So is coaching something that you would ever be interested in, like as far as offering lab sessions as like a source of income, or like pairing up with a website that does that?
I definitely thought about that. I was supposed to release an ebook, dude, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Obviously, you can see where that's gone. Haven't posted one. I need to get on that. I tell myself that every day, but I don't. But I do actually want to do like coaching sessions, and honestly, I wouldn't want to charge a lot because I'd rather just help out people. It'd be like something like, I don't know, 15, 20 and up, like per hour or something like that we work. And I do actually have interest in doing coaching sessions. I think after the Thanksgiving tournament, I'm seriously going to get into that stuff. So yeah,
definitely. I would say, like, from the 40 minutes that we sat in a Discord call, like I learned more about Madden 21 than I'd learned the entire year. So I can vouch, guys, if you guys want to get a coach, a competitive coach on your side, or even if you just want to be a better weekend league player, definitely hit up Geezy. Because the one thing about it is there's a lot of guys in the game that are super good competitive players and understand the game, and it's all muscle memory for them with the adjustments. But it's hard to go and take a player who's average or a player who's dog shit and then teach them how to be like average. Like it's tough to teach and word it in a way that we can understand for a guy who doesn't know what deep blues are or any of that stuff. So I found Geezy that you did a really good job of like dumbing it down to the level. He said that he gave me, and I see that Hard Flats is in the chats, he said that he gave me the Hard Flats version of his coaching rundown because he knew that Hard Flats wasn't capable of playing at the highest level, so he put me in the same tier. So I'm honestly, I was honored by that because Hard Flats is the legend.
When I explained you the defense, I do remember that.
Yeah, I was dying, and I was like, that makes perfect sense to me. Man, but... So what are some of your goals this year competitively? So like from just a comp player standpoint, not even just on Twitch, but just like, what are your goals now that we're like a couple months into Madden 22 at this point?
My goals, honestly, it's just to make that live event. Like the moment I make a live event, like I honestly feel like my competitive goals are gonna be like finished, like complete. Like I just want to be on that stage and like just get that opportunity. I could get flooded 84-0 by Henry or John Beast or whatever. I just want to be on that stage and like just know like I just went through a gauntlet of good players. Like this past tournament, I didn't lab at all, but I felt like I could have went that far, and like it's just honestly I just want to make a live event. The money is what it is, but I just think being on the EA stream would just be dope.
100%, and you look at it as you want to kind of use competitive Madden to propel yourself as a streamer. So you're looking at it as streaming is the main goal, growing your channel and growing your brand is the goal, and comp is a great way to get that exposure. Is that kind of how you approach it? Yeah.
100%. Like I tell Hard Flats, Gun Bunch all the time, if once I make a live event, like if I pop off that, I'm taking a coin spot.
100%.
Competing's fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, but like at the end of the day, you got to get your bag, and like competing is not, you're not guaranteed a bag. Like obviously, I got clicked on, picked off in at the 20 last tournament. That's how my tournament run ended. Last year, if you remember my classic run against Gage, the 2-point conversion, obviously I fell forward, but they didn't give it to me. That's how my tournament ended. Sure,
it's tough. Like, and how do you, when you have like a moment like that, like I'm just thinking of that 2-point convert where it's just like an animation that seemed to go your way, and then something like that where the game absolutely cheats you, or at least like your expectations are kind of undercut. How long does that play stick in your head before you're able to move on from it and kind of, put it in the past and go on to the next tournament and prepping for it?
Depends on the play. So like this past tournament, I legit lost the rage, said what's up to chat, said appreciate y'all for coming, sent off a raid, and then I went and hung out with some friends, didn't really care. The classic, when I lost off the 2-point conversion in the final 64, I legit made my own Discord channel for me, myself, and I only that said Marvin's Room, sat there for 2 days. I didn't even talk to anybody for 2 days because I was so upset that I lost like that. So it all just depends. Normally me, I don't make excuses for the game like a lot of people. Like, yeah, the game is fucking awful and outside thirds suck right now.
Yeah.
But after I lose in a competitive game, it's all on me at the end of the day. Like, I could have done something better. Like, for example, like my ultimate kickoff run, like obviously, you know, I got screwed by a click on pick 6 that shouldn't have been picked. But, you know, if I don't throw a pick early in the game, I'm never in that situation. I kick 3 and I win.
Yeah.
So
no, that's true. That's a good way of looking at it. It's a healthy way of looking at it. But it's true. It's like, you know, when it's one and done, it's not like a round robin style where you get to play like a best out of 3 series. Like, in some ways, I think that would be really good content if MCS moved to that. But at the same time, you know, they would drag stuff out even longer that way. But it's tough. It's like that sudden death aspect of these MCS tourneys is what makes it kind of so hard, because every mistake is like amplified so much.
Exactly.
It's got to be tough. And you know, for like my goal is to never be in a situation where I have a game that's that important. I could not deal with that kind of pressure. Like, that's something that would be absolutely crippling to deal with. But
I actually I gotten nervous one tournament my whole life. That was clubs. My first game in clubs of Madden 21 when I represented the Packers, I didn't even get nervous my first game. I got nervous in the winners finals against Chigs. My hands were literally just shaking like this. I couldn't even grip my controller. I was like, holy shit, like I'm actually like the real deal. Like I didn't think I would get that far. Like after, like I didn't even get nervous when I played J-Dye himself, who was the 1 seed, who I think he was like 97-3 in a weekend league that year. I didn't even get nervous then. I got in the winners finals and I'm literally just shaking. My hands are. Yeah. I couldn't even think of what I was supposed to do. But every other tournament I played in, I feel like it's another game. I'm just locked in. Like round of 64.
Yeah. Is it similar to the feeling like when you were playing like baseball, like when you're locking in for like a big game? Like, is it a similar thing or is it different?
See, like I didn't even get nervous playing baseball or basketball growing up. Like I want to be in that moment. I want, like, for example, like basketball. If coach said, "Who wants to take the last shot?" I want to take that last shot. Or like, you know, if coach tells me or tells the team like we need to do like a pickoff play or whatever, I want to take charge in that play. Like I live for like those type of moments. I want to be in those type of moments. So like I really don't get nervous that much. So like it was weird. Like when I played Jigs and I started shaking. Like,
that's crazy. Like it's obviously, well, maybe it helps too that you possibly didn't think you were going to be there either. So you hadn't mentally prepared ahead of time. You know, this is what it's going to be like when I get to this round. You exceeded your expectations, so that's huge. But like that's interesting what you say. Like that's kind of like when you hear about, you know, the great athletes, you know, like the Michael Jordans, the Wayne Gretzky's, you know, like all those guys, like they want to be in the moment. That's something that I can't really relate to. Like I'm not, you know, I love team sports. I love it for the team aspect of it. I love sports for the challenge of it. But like, I would much rather, like looking back on it, I would much rather, you know, get some other guy on the team to make the game-winning tackle in the open field, or like, you know, I would much more be much more happy in a supporting role. So for you to kind of be like that alpha male type personality, that's a certain skill set. Like that, not everybody has that. But I'd say a lot of the guys in the comp community are probably. Would you say they have a similar mindset to yours? Do you think?
Yeah, depends on the, you know, person. Like I think there's people like, you know, Henry was a pretty aggressive player. You know, Free the Penguins is pretty aggressive. So like I see people like that. There's also some other conservative players who, you know, they're not like that.
Yeah.
But you know, me personally, I'm one person that like I'd rather have the game be my fault than, you know, somebody else's. Like I'd rather have all that weight on my shoulders. Like, damn, I fucked that play up, you know, for the game, and like use it as something to get better. Like I don't want that for like one of my teammates. I'd rather have that pressure.
I respect that. Yeah, that's a great outlook, great mindset on that one. And I'm just thinking back to, so, you know, we talked about that moment of some anxiety when you were facing it. Was it Chigs, you said? Yeah. So what would be like kind of one of your more triumphant moments in a comp game, and whether it's in an MCS tourney or a qualifier? Like, what would you say is your top competitive moment if you had to pick just one, or a couple? You can do a couple too. There's no rules here. Moment.
So
I can think of one in my head. I wonder if you come up with the same one.
All right, so let's see. There was the time. Okay, the ones I could think off the top of my head is when I played J-Dye himself, Packers Club. He was 1 seed. Everybody was like, dude, Geezy ain't beating him. I remember watching W stream like, who the fuck is GOATGEEZY? That was W's exact words. And I just laughed. You know, I was up till was pretty late. We labbed up some jumbo defense, and when I'm telling you he had 50 offensive yards that game, he had 50 offensive yards. He didn't get past even the 50 that game.
That's insane.
And so that was one of my top moments because I remember I made him change schemes after that. Like he went from jumbo to QB blast. So that like made me feel pretty good. Let's see. After that tournament was the classic. Probably my last second touchdown versus Gage before I failed a 2-point conversion. There was 8 seconds left, and I threw like a 45-yard dot to give myself a chance to tie the game. That was up there. I sucked in the challenge, even though I was the 7th seed.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, LCQ, I played Spammin', so that was a shit show. And then after that, I was mentally out of it because I thought Spammin' was the worst Madden player ever. But yeah, those are probably the 2 moments.
And now Spammin's a partnered Twitch streamer as of this week.
One of my boys in the Madden community too. I thought he was the worst Madden player ever. And fucking now he's one of my boys.
He kind of went crazy though. Like he was kind of like a June goon, July guy last year. Like he kind of went crazy. And
everybody thought he was just absolutely awful just because the way he played. And now I mean he's a top player. He takes everybody's money in money games. I actually just beat him today too in week.
Oh, nice. Let's go. Random matchup, or was he trying to snipe you? What do you think?
Random matchup. I was supposed to check his tab, and I totally forgot, and I matched up with him. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I ended up beating him like 34. Wait, no. Yeah, I'm doing math. Yeah, I'm doing math, right? 34, 28.
Nice.
OT, so.
Let's go. Let's go. Fun. That's huge, man. And I'm thinking of one of my memories that I was thinking you would say was, and maybe this is as a fan, like a guy who likes to watch your streams and tune in and see you like it, getting the competitive juices flowing, was your game against Tony.
Oh my God! How did I forget?
How did you forget the game against Tony? Who remembers the game against Tony in the chat? Oh my God,
bro,
that was insane.
That's got to be up there. I think the game against Jay is number 1, Tony's 2, and then my game time touchdown versus against Gage is 3. I remember just absolutely getting on the mic. He was the number 3 seed that tourney, and I was like 128. And I just remember capping at this dude, saying that this dude's fucking bad. He's not going anywhere. This dude sucks.
Yeah. Then did you have a mic on for that game, or did you turn your mic on partway through the game? Because I think it was supposed to be no mic, no video.
Yeah. No mic, no video. I had it off. It's 14-7. I get a pick. I didn't say a word. I ended up scoring points, and I'm like, oh, I was just getting lit. I'm like, you know what? I'm turning. I'm like, I'm capping if I get another pick. And I got a pick, and I went straight for my mic. I'm like, he's in a fucking bag. Just absolutely screaming. Oh, my God. I remember that. I remember keeping my mic on and running an inside zone. I was up 28-7 or whatever, and I got sticky. And I was like, stop, go. And I just kept on fucking running, and I was lit.
Man, that was like I was in the chat at that point watching your run, and chat was moving like an EA Good Morning Madden stream. Chat was just flying by. It was insane. The energy was so high. Gifted subs were coming in like crazy.
Oh
like
my God,
probably a level 5 hype train off that. That was wild, man. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of the stuff that goes in behind the scenes to comp, you don't really see. All we see is like these big moments, like that game against Tony, where it's like all the accolades. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to get to those opportunities, right?
That shit is so lit. And I always, one thing I do, you brought that up about chat. After every game, or after every tournament, I should say, I go back and I watch my VODs, and I always look at chat just to see what people say in the chat. I'm always just curious, like, what's going on. 'Cause, like, that's, I guess, is content creator in me. But I'll always read, just see what chat's saying. I'll always rewatch my games and stuff. So
yeah. Oh, no, that's awesome, man. A whole lot of people were rooting for you there, pulling for you. I think it's still the same way, like you've got a really good community of guys, and like I know you got like your lab group that you're super close with. You got your own community, the ball pit, that's like pulling for you every time. You got the council pulling for you too now. So, we want to see Geezy make a live event this year too, but
I gotta give it to my chat though. As much as they are a ball pit and like they troll a lot. I mean, even the chaperones on the ball pit, hard flats. When I do play in comp games, they know when they gotta flip that switch. It's lock in mode. There's no troll shit. Yeah. That's going on. Like they come in my chat and they're rooting for me. It's fucking it's like game day, Friday Night Lights. So I gotta give props to the ball pit.
100%. And it's funny. Like you really do have kind of like a diehard community. Like I'm obviously all over Twitch. Like I didn't really know what Twitch was until a couple months before COVID started. I first started getting into it, but like, your community is, when you boot up, the Noti gang is so strong, and you know who's going to be in there from the get-go. And yeah, you get a lot of guys coming in, like any of you like comp, high-level gameplay guys, you're going to get guys coming in wanting to snipe you or like talk shit after they match up with you. But guys like Hard Flats in there, Dimitri, like you got such a strong community. Guys like Hot Booty Chef Curry, legendary community members. It's always a good time, man. Like I honestly spend so much time watching your stream, and I'm just like a big fan of how you can match the trolling, but also like I don't know. It's just a good balance. It's something that not a lot of people can handle, a chat like yours. But
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but let's see what else I wanted to ask you about here. I had some more streaming related questions here. So you've been crushing the questions sheet so far. I'll return it marked to you at the end of the stream and let you know how you did. But so we talked about your goals competitively. So your goals are to make it to a live event and kind of use that to catapult your stream. What are your goals for your Twitch stream and your channel? Like, what are your goals as a streamer?
As a streamer, I mean, I talked to a lot of people about this. I know I talked to Nick Osenko a lot about this. We're always on the phone. We're talking about for Madden 22. I mean, I got one goal in mind, and that's just to get the purple check mark. I was really close. Before my baseball season started off, I had to do schedule switch. I was averaging about low 60s, upper 50s for a little bit. So at that point, I really thought I could get there, and numbers went down. I started jumping back up after Madden 22 dropped. I thought, I'm like, okay, my numbers are going back up again. Came over to college, my numbers have dropped a little bit, but obviously it's just, getting the partners. Got to get that one push, that takes me to the moon. I mean, that's really my only goal, and, just keep building my community, keep building the ball pit. There's not enough balls.
Yeah.
That sounded so bad.
There's never enough balls.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out. Don't worry. I'll clip that out.
Yep, I heard Merck's really good at editing that.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah, just keep building the community, just having fun, man. I think I said on the council podcast that the game sucked at one point.
Yeah, you did.
It wasn't
say that,
having fun, but after that podcast, I kind of rethought about it. I'm like, okay, how do I make this fun again? I've been having a lot of fun recently, and chat makes it fun, so just keep having fun on stream.
Yeah, that's the hardest part too. Like it's, I find as somebody who has similar goals, but obviously I'm not going to be able to go about it the same way as you are. I'm not going to be able to make a live event. That's something I've relegated myself to. I've never had that goal, but you were super close and on the cusp. And how do you deal with like the fluctuation? Because there's always like you said. Madden 21, before your season started, you had to commit to making those practices, change up your schedule. How do you deal with like the fluctuation month to month? Because obviously we'd love it if it was like every month is on an upwards thing, but that's not necessarily how it goes. Like the game gains popularity, loses popularity. Mentally, how do you deal with like the ups and downs of streaming?
It all depended. Like, so when for example, like when baseball season started, my numbers really went down because I went to night stream. I was like, holy shit! I'm like, it's never been this low before.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of a shock to me because I haven't never been that low until like when I started streaming. That's like how low I was down to. So it was like, wow, like, I'd come home from practice and be like, oh, I gotta stream tonight. And like at first, I didn't handle it well, and then after baseball ended, I was able to stream before I started working with my dad for the summer, and I went back to afternoon. I'm like, afternoon, like, people are really there. I mean, maybe it's just a time slot.
Yeah.
But then after, like, I started working, taking a lot of days off. Like, I kind of knew, my numbers were going to drop, so I was more mentally prepared. But, like, when it first happened, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
it's tough.
Insane. Like, I knew, like, switching from midday to night would be a big switch, but I didn't think it would be like, I would be going from 60 to 15.
Yeah.
So
it's a big transition. It's like you're dealing with stuff like, people on the Pacific time zone, the Eastern time zone, people are starting to go to bed. Pacific people might still be at work. Like it's like there's all kinds of factors that go in that are out of your control, but like at the same time, real life has to come first. Like for you as a guy who was like wrapping up graduating from high school last year, and now this year getting your footing, getting prepared for college, it's like those things, the stream will Twitch is not going anywhere. Your channel's not going anywhere. The 4,000 followers you have aren't going anywhere. You know, the growth might slow down at certain times, but like you got to take care of that other stuff first, you know. And that's it's good that you were able to, like you said, you knew like when you did your summer job, you're working more than 40 hours a week. It seemed like you had crazy hours.
Yeah, that shit was bad.
Yeah. And is that something like, so going forward for next summer now, because now that you're paying for college and whatnot, for next summer, are you planning on going back and joining the workforce again, or are you hoping that the stream can be your primary source going into the summer?
Obviously, I want stream to be my primary source. One reason why I did do it is because I was working for my dad, and they were really short staffed. So also that's gonna be a key factor. Is if they're short staffed, they need people. Obviously, I'm going to. One thing, if I do work this summer, I'm going to be living with my mom again, which they have a good internet there. My dad has some of the worst internet in this world.
Yeah.
So I will be able to fit in streams, before work. So a lot of the times I live with my dad throughout the week, and then Friday night he'd drop me off, and I'd be with my mom for 2-3 days, whatever it is, and then I'd go back to work.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought about it yet. Got to see where I am financially with Twitch. Also,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and then obviously, the goal, it would be pretty awesome to make streaming a primary source of income. Like it's hard to do. Like even a lot of the guys who are big streamers with thousands, tens of thousands of followers. It's you really have to be in that upper elite echelon of streamers to make a living off of it. But you know what? Like I think you're doing a great job building your community. You're you're not a pushover. You don't, you raid who you want to raid. You host who you want to host. You do things your way. You build relationships your way without having to sacrifice. And I respect that about you. Like you're, got a really good head on your shoulders. And I think you're going about it the right way. Like any of the issues you've had are just strictly stuff that's out of your control. And that's something I got to remember for myself too, is that, as long as you go about it and you're, like you said, try to have fun on stream, the rest will take care of itself. You can't force it,
Exactly. Just got to keep on pushing. That's the way I've been looking at it. Is like, numbers go down. I just got to keep on pushing. My numbers are going to go back up. I've seen them been up. 100%. I've seen them been down.
Yeah.
So I just got to keep on pushing until they go up. Hopefully hit that partner and, be able to make it. I can do this during the summer or whatever, but I should be able to, consistently do it this summer as long as I'm living with my mom again.
Yeah.
Probably have to switch up the schedule, but that's not new, so.
Yeah, we'll adapt. We'll adjust. We'll adjust to the life schedule. So I wanted to, we've been talking for a while now. We've covered several of the questions on my list here and kind of let the conversation go where it was going to go. But what I wanted to do basically before we wrap things up here is, so what basically would you say, for somebody in the chat who's never been in a GOATGEEZY stream before, what would you like to tell them about why they should come in to a GOATGEEZY stream and check it out? How would you market yourself?
Pretty much, like, you're gonna see high level gameplay. You're gonna see some dots. You're gonna see me play some best people in the world. You're gonna see me lose the absolute shitters and weakling that I shouldn't lose to. Somebody plays like Murph.
That's right. I have matched Geezy. It did not go well for me.
Yeah. Honestly, you're gonna see some high level gameplay. It's gonna be fun. Just like the chat environment. If you like to talk shit, whether it's to me, as long as you're not saying some out of pocket shit, like, come in there and just say whatever you want. If you're having a bad day, be like, yo, Geezy, fuck you, dude. And I'll be like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, it's just kind of the vibe, you got the ball pit in there. If you want to go timeout, it's Don who's typing cock or whatever. Like, it's just fun time in there. And like, it's nothing like serious or whatever. So if you just want to chill and have a laugh or whatever, just come through.
100%. I agree. And, like, I kind of became, as work gets busy for me, I kind of become more of a tab goon where it's like, I'll check in. But, like, Geezy, when you go live, like, you're my first tab. I've got you unmuted, and I'm listening because I'm enjoying the vibes in there, and it's actually a good time. And I'm not just saying that. Like, there's a lot of guys that I want to support, but, like, I don't always feel like listening to them, But in your case, like, I actually enjoy the vibes in there, and it's always a good time. And, it's a good environment. It's got something for everybody in there. But honestly, it's been awesome talking to you. I feel like I'd love to have you back on the podcast at some point. I feel like there's always new stuff to talk about in Madden and streaming and just life in general. But I'd say for the first Around the Gjallarhorn podcast, I'm going to look at the video here. I'm going to see how much I messed up certain audio and video things. We figured out the audio along the way. But, man, it's been truly an honor to have you on here, and I wish you all the best in your streaming career. All the best at school. I'll be checking into your chat tomorrow. Are we getting a stream tomorrow or what?
Should begin a stream tomorrow. See, I got a quiz I gotta take. Just a couple assignments, so you should be getting one.
Beauty. And we'll have some NFL action tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get you back on the Council Extra Point podcast too. You seem like a natural with these long-winded conversations. But man, thank you so much for being on here. I'm going to be posting this video on YouTube for all the people that weren't in the chat, that weren't able to watch it. So I'll definitely fire up a graphic for that. But take it easy, Geezy. I will see you in the Twitch streets, man. And have a great night. Thanks for being in here, my dude.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me, Murph.